Already?
Okay. Wifeys doesn't listen to boys.
Exactly.
No, I feel like this should be re-intro.
Nah,
Sorry.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I didn't say, what is my
But I don't spot. What the frick? Now you're training the bloopers though. Anyway, yo, what's up? Welcome back to your wifey's favorite podcast. Can't say this twice with CJ, Brad, and Josh.
But you're agreeing with it this week?
He didn't say nothing. This wrong exists.
Brad, I agree with it.
I can't.
You get
When they
you.
say when they can't beat them, join them. So I mean,
Join them,
I tired, see it.
All right, so we are at
Start your own army.
our first milestone, episode number 10.
Yeah.
So those of you who have been there from episode 1 to now,
Big up,
yes, sir.
big up your whole self.
So today, what we're gonna talk about is
Yo,
a little different from what we've been talking about
But
in
we
the
need
last.
to
Yeah, we slowing down a little bit.
sound effects. Need to get them.
Mr. Man,
Josh.
in the intro, Jay,
We talking and he just put a random thing in the everything.
Yeah,
is the
that's what the quotes.
is the alcohol. Huh?
I don't know what I'm talking
Yo,
about.
all of this thing, eh?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
All
Anyway,
of this thing.
yeah, that's the all of that's
Yeah,
a black man in here.
but then you had to cut it because now
Nah.
it sounds like if we pretending.
I
No, you already know. They should hear what we have to go through to start a
What we had
podcast.
to deal with.
Yeah,
All right, so we have a topic sent in from one of our many fans from in
diaspora.
Our
The
international
diaspora.
listeners.
our international listeners.
Nah, I want
you
to
know,
sound
we
like a
have-
media person.
we have-
Diaspora.
yeah. we have many listeners in the UK. Big up yourself. The topic, I'm going to paraphrase it because if I play the audio, y'all would not be able to understand it. So
Facts.
the topic overview is the differences between living in Grenada and growing up in Grenada and living abroad. What's the general consensus of locals, like what we think it's like living in a foreign country, and what the act so more of insight of what we think versus what actually happens.
Okay.
So since Brad is in Canada right now,
Pull me. Pick on me.
we'll start with him. What would have been your first? What would have surprised you a little when you got to Canada versus what you thought you would have experienced over there?
Well,
I feel like
I wouldn't say surprise.
Well, yeah.
Because Brad used to travel like
Brad is a-
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
it won't really be a surprise
Yeah,
since I've traveled a good bit in my life.
but you would have been to Canada before you moved
Yeah, a couple times.
when you was younger, though.
No, I came here like twice before the year before I left
No. Well,
to come here.
I mean, even before, like, before the whole you're going there to move and all.
Yeah, 2017 and 2018.
The father man went to China. Israel had the top China.
Right.
Beijing
Um,
and Guangzhou. Yeah, but it wasn't as I was saying, it wasn't much of a surprise per se. But visiting and living is different. I would say living is a different kettle of fish. There's a lot of things that you have to really pay attention to. Stuff like your credit score and stuff. It's not something that you could take for granted if you want to be successful and actually do things with your life. Because I mean, over here everything runs basically on credit.
yeah,
It doesn't exist here.
in Grenada.
Which in the Caribbean and in Grenada, we don't have to worry about these things. But if you wanna, well, when I was getting my place, my apartment, I didn't have a credit score yet per se, so I had to show that I had enough money to cover rent, and so for a year or
A year.
over,
Mhm.
so they can trust me to give me a lease
Basically,
on the place.
Yeah, like vouch for you.
Yeah, so I guess being able to get an apartment gave me a good foot in the door, and having enough money to cover gave me a good foot in the door. So now I'm using my apartment bills and the rent I'm paying
So,
to go towards the building my credit. So I'm going to so I put it on my credit card,
mhm.
and it's building my credit, and now my credit's sitting
So
pretty
Sitting
pretty
pretty.
nice. Yeah,
wait,
in
Nice.
over a little over a year.
I must say though that I don't like when it comes to credit.
It's been that long? God
Yeah,
damn.
man,
when it
since
comes to
December
credit
2019.
scores, it's like to me it doesn't make sense because why? I mean, yes, the economists and the people in accounting would say yes, credit makes sense because that's only how you will go forward. I think me and Brad had this conversation some time back. But how is being broke and borrowing make it better for you? Because like to me, like no, like in the Caribbean, we own everything that we have, and that is an accomplishment. Having your own house in the Caribbean is a big deal, but in the States, leasing your own house is a deal,
Easy.
like a big deal. Like you don't own the house, you're leasing the house, but you're throwing a party for it. Like to
Yeah.
me, that's really backward. Like that's just my thought about it. Because I feel like if I have $10 that I work for and it's like I don't have to go back and pay for it, like there's a bigger achievement than having
Exactly.
$10 that you borrowed and then you had to pay back
It's not
later
your
on.
$10 and you had to pay interest on that.
And
Interest
you
on
had
it.
to pay interest. So I don't understand why they would have a system that would judge your character or your character too, right?
Mhm.
Because basically, if your credit score doesn't reach a certain amount, they would
Nobody
look
would
at
trust
it.
you.
They
Well,
would say you're not
what happened?
reliable.
You was in
and you're-
jail
yeah,
or something, right?
Yep.
So I don't understand the system of having a credit
That's
making the person who you are. Like that's like telling me the amount of likes and followers I have on Instagram
means
Mhm.
that.
creates the person I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it tells you how likable you are in
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. true.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like it's something like they oppressing people in a sense by making them like pressuring them into going into debt instead of
That's
actually
precisely what it is. You know, it's a matter of I'm trying to find the right words to say it.
All right, well, let me see if I can help you. I'm gonna give you an example of how retarded it is up here. Right?
use the word retarded.
Think about
bro, no, not retarded.
think about no,
Stupid.
listen, right? Listen, think about it, right? It's so easy to get a student loan up here, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to show any kind of securities to get it. But but you're a student, I want to go and study here. They'll give you $250,000, whatever, to cover your thing with no securities, right? But you're working, okay, and you want to buy a little piece of a small condo or something, a 1-bedroom condo for the same $250 also. You want to know credit score, life insurance, all kind of thing.
They want
For that.
Remember the
Collateral,
interest-
everything,
the
down
interest
payments.
rates- The interest rates would be different. So I guess they would use the interest rate for your student loan to make up for all the other stuff that would cause them.
But yeah, but as a student, students flunk school all the time.
Yeah, but the
Or
interest rate higher, huh?
students finish
Oh,
school
they
and they
don't have
can't find
security.
a proper
Yeah, they don't have- Yo, they
what
give
security
you
a
that
student
so-
will use?
If you don't have security, then what are they banking on? Like, oh, I don't
Exactly.
understand. That's great. Now their system, like I feel like okay, we complain in the Caribbean. Well, we complain in the Caribbean because the governments are really not seeking the interests of their people. But the systems that we have in place, like for bank, I feel like we have a solid system. Because I always say, anytime a Caribbean person leaves the Caribbean and moves to one of those first world countries, like United States or Canada, they would always try better. Most of the times, not all of the times,
Yeah.
but they always strive better because of how we were brought up and because of the type of systems
Live
we
within
had
your
in the Caribbean.
means.
Yeah, because exactly. We would know we could use
Self-reliant.
10 US and make it look like 100 US.
Yep. Self-reliance.
Like, imagine
We're not dependent on the government for stuff.
at all. But it's not all of the Caribbean, because then the Haitians, they still will
Yeah.
live,
Yeah, some
or they maybe
yeah, some
outsmarting.
Grenadians, yeah, some Grenadians so too, you know.
Nah, facts, big facts,
Yeah.
big facts, big facts.
But we
But
don't
then we
speak
don't
on
know their
that.
situation. We don't know what they're going through. So
To
I
be
guess-
honest, right? And social media is the one place you realize that when you peel back the layers of, like, people like to show off what they want people to think their life is like. So
facts.
so I look at certain people I know
Mm.
on social media and like on Facebook. I mean, I'm usually on Facebook just to share memes and move on with my day. But in scrolling, you see certain things. So I would see this one person and he decked out in a
Coaching.
gold chain and a fancy watch. He have on the latest Nikes and Balenciagas and all of this stuff. And then when you actually take a trip to New York and you link up with these people that you know,
Boy,
Mm.
give me $20.
and they'll be asking you, you wanna put something on a bottle, or if they say,
But you bought
well,
on
we have
social
been a little
media.
line. Pull up.
It's
You
only
pull
for
up
the-
and you see the bed on the floor, and this literally the whole apartment is probably the size of this
Your
studio.
studio day.
Because niggas
And I'm
fake
like-
for the clout.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
yo,
They
you
doing it for the gram.
They
you
doing it for the
spending
grams,
all
content for
this,
the gram.
every cent you get is spending on bottles and designer this and designer that.
Yo, but even here, niggas,
Yo, invest in some stock,
even
bro.
here, young
Exactly.
men.
Something. Yo,
Even here.
we doing that a lot more now here,
Yeah,
boy.
because
What the
I've been
frick?
on Instagram watching stories for the last couple of months, like since after COVID hit.
And we're not
And the
judging
places
nobody, yeah?
started opening up.
We're not judging nobody.
And to
Do
me,
your
it's
thing.
like people doing it more now. It's like the show.
Yeah, boy.
I have links and I know the secret party happening here. And I can show it on Instagram that it's a secret party. So I will show it and make people know I'm part of the 1%. Bro,
Yo,
Into the 1%.
yo.
we getting too old. We getting too old for that.
Boy, one thing I've never found attractive or interesting is pretending to look like something I'm not. At a
Exactly.
rich. At a rich.
So that's the hardest thing to keep up with.
Bro.
That should be the hardest thing
Bro.
to keep up with.
And I have a decent, stable job.
Mm-hmm.
I have a second income in the studio that has made
Exactly.
extra money, right?
Are they in the studio?
And that's the
tonight?
dream, eh?
I in the studio
So I
tonight.
have two streams of income, right? And I'm still freaking struggling. How them people has be going out every weekend buying
That's
this
the
and
same
doing
question
that?
we just asked.
What?
How them
How?
people who not working,
In every fete.
who have
Every
5
boat ride.
children,
How?
every fit, every boat ride. as you
We in
said.
the fanciest this and that.
I mean,
Bruh.
them Indians so
Very-
probably
that's
had it
all.
shot.
That's all over the
I
world.
probably
eh?
had it shot about 2 or 3 years. Going
Yeah.
straight.
I can't tell all that how long I had this shit. I don't want to tell all because I'll go judge me.
Judge you.
you.
Trust me.
Mr. Man, when I
Trust
came
me.
up here, people would think that, oh, when I come up here, I'll buy a whole new wardrobe and think, wait, I
For
take
what?
out the clothes and thing from back home and bring up
I
a
mean,
closet full of clothes from home.
yeah,
But the thing is with me, yeah, I would buy quality stuff that would last. So I
exactly.
could get to keep the things.
For a long
And
time.
I think that is what
That's a big difference.
that
I
is
think.
yo, like I feel like I don't know if it's every circle, but I feel like my circle of friends, when it comes to purchasing stuff, like we always think about
It's never just
after.
frivolous.
We don't
shit.
think about
Mhm.
at the moment. So like stuff that we will have will be things that will last us long, and then people will be like, yo, the men balling, the men have this, the men
Yeah.
no, but it's because we bought good stuff
Yeah, gotta buy smart, you know.
in the jump from the jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll cost you more.
Okay.
No, it
I'm
might
not
cost
trying to
you
bring
more
this-
off like right now.
I'm not trying to make this an
But over
Apple.
time, as opposed to buying, you'll buy a old shoes for $60.
Exactly.
You gotta buy the next one in 2 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you last that long.
But that's the thing, eh? But
I was gonna say, I thought
we
you
buy
were
good
saying
quality,
Apple.
but it's not the exorbitant prices.
Yeah, it's not
price
over the
quality
top.
like
Yeah,
Louis
exactly.
Vuitton and thing. It might, go
Oh,
down.
yeah.
There's tiers below that before you reach that, and the
Facts,
quality
yeah.
really isn't the difference. The
And
change is just in
especially now, I find there's a lot more high quality, like third party brands that People don't
Quality
even
is
check
Sleeping
on.
and then
They're real sleeping on
real
them, boy.
proper stuff, right?
Yeah, people
So I was
rolling.
going to say I'm not even going to bring like I'm not trying to make an argument between Windows and Apple. But it can be Windows, and for the people who are always trying to compare them, Windows is a company for themselves. They don't make all the laptops that you have.
Well, Microsoft, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Sorry. They don't make all the laptops that you have. Other companies make it.
Exactly.
But like I have my laptop, like my Mac here, like years now, like about maybe 5-6 years. And it's working like normal up to today.
Yeah.
The build quality, it's the build quality. I mean, you can get us on a Windows too.
So it's like my money at that point in time could have bought me a proper computer. So I did that instead of trying to cheap out and say, I learned that the hard way
too. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it's the same thing.
Even forget brands, operating systems and whoever. Consider manufacturers because
manufacturers.
Because there are high quality Windows laptops that aluminum body
XPS,
it will hold you for the same length of time and work just as well.
Yeah.
But because so many of these companies try to penetrate the market at every level, you get them cutting a lot of corners. So I go make this thing out of plastic. Plastic in the Caribbean, heat,
what thing will happen?
It's never going to last. If you get 3 years out of the laptop, you do well.
And every company cuts corners.
Everybody go try
look at Apple for their last release. Look at how much corners they cut. Like they
Apple cutting corners with the ports,
the chargers. Yeah, like,
exactly.
That's a big deal, you know, because if that means,
the industry on a whole starting to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, not too long from now, you will hear Samsung
already
saying that
they do it. Samsung already not putting chargers in their boxes. They didn't even take Samsung IA.
And you know what's crazy, right?
They follow suit.
You know what's crazy, right? They made so much fun of Apple for doing
it. I know.
And then go and do it. It's like, yo, you haven't had no shame, Jen.
I was speaking to my boss. I hate making references to work, but you know, we live at work more than we are home at other places. Mm-hmm. We are work more. And he was saying, like, we were talking about something to do with the company, and he was telling me, like, Josh, do you not realize that this is a effing game?
Yeah, it's a game. We was even talking about that, remember?
Like we're just like a football in the middle of the field, like they're kicking around when they want things done. And when I like sitting down and thinking about it, like the situation we were in,
makes sense, eh?
I was like, yo, them men put a whole rule in place to just get what they want done. And we actually following it because we don't have a choice, eh? If we go against it,
you get jail.
You get penalized. You get jail. You get fined.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, shit.
That's why we need to.
Yeah, but you're saying
to own our own stuff.
All you're saying, all your was in it. I still in it. It's still a lockdown period.
Yeah. Were you in more than us?
But the thing is, Toronto don't even have it the worst. Quebec have it the worst. They have curfew still. They said they was going to go on curfew for how much weeks? Like 2 weeks? I think it's been like 11 weeks now.
What? No way. What the hell?
But people fighting back and taking them to court and thing though. Like real civil suits and stuff.
Yeah,
people taking the government to court.
I'm surprised. They overdoing it, man.
People will take me negative for saying this, sir. Like curfew for me. I never personally liked it because to me it's like, yo, we are all big people. I feel like our government shouldn't be in charge of telling us
what to do.
We have to do this and to be checking on our safety and our health.
Exactly.
I think we should be
supposed to be responsible.
We're supposed to be responsible.
But you know what? On the flip side, before they put us on like total lockdown and all of that shit finish, we would have been fine. But people like to be defiant on purpose.
And that is
spoil we way.
But defiant how?
Because the
Don't-
minute
don't
you say
gather.
do not,
He said, don't. They said,
the do not.
don't gather. Don't have big gatherings, of more than this number and that number.
But people would do
The
it.
next day, man, imagine a whole conference on television saying, don't gather in large groups.
Was that
8 p.m., eh? Even before Batway, 8 p.m. By the next day, beach park, people literally
Oh yeah, they had beach parties.
beach fetes.
Yeah, outside.
For real,
not
for real.
one beach fete, you know.
I
Beach
forgot that.
fetes and party and all kind of thing. Like,
Had police
They-
rolling up.
basically saying, we hear what you're saying, so freak you.
No,
Why?
but that
Why?
but that is
But
human.
isn't that up to them people though? If they want to get sick, they should get sick. They should
Exactly.
what-
expand.
right,
But if you
that's
get, if
what
you put
I'm
yourself in
saying.
that position, do you expect the government to bend over backwards
But you
to
see,
save you?
you see, that is,
And
that
then
is,
we will blame the government after.
But you can't blame the government. The
and that is
government
what-
is there to give
that is why this
guidelines
gets-
and to guide you. The
give
government is
guidelines,
not
but
there
we-
to be a father.
But exactly.
that's my point,
But so
like-
we does get, but so we does get on though, because on one hand they said open the country, blah blah blah. We open the country. We
Look,
got
why you
spiking.
open the country?
We got spiking cases.
Why you open the
Open the
country?
country.
You want us to dead? You want us to get sick?
But that's
Do you
what
want
I
us
say.
to- Do you want
Yeah,
us
the
to
government
starve
there.
or not?
The government there
Take all
at the
that
will of the
bashing.
people, eh? The
I could-
government's
yeah,
supposed
yo,
to
At the will
rule
of the,
based
and
on what the
that is
people,
something we always
the
forget.
common consensus.
We always forget
Yeah,
that
true.
we are the ones, whether or not you didn't vote for the government.
They're supposed to serve us.
It's the country they're representing at that point in time. It's
Exactly.
it's a majority. So the majority put them there to control and to,
Not even control.
well, it's control, they control it.
They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't
They
be,
shouldn't
but
control.
that's what they're doing.
It's guide. It should be
And the-
guide.
The guy
Should
well,
be
and to
guided.
guide us.
Control.
But I guess they control it. But that's just my thing. Like I hate, as you spoke about the curfews and the lockdowns that Quebec having. Like, dog, I hated the fact that we
Yeah.
were in a lockdown. Like, I saw no
I
reason.
mean, you didn't bother me.
I mean, to me, it's like, whether or not we were in a lockdown, it wouldn't have. People would say different, right? But to me, it wouldn't have made a difference in the spread because Grenadians would find a way to mingle with the people they want to mingle with at
Facts.
some point.
Facts. I mean, they did anyway.
They did,
Look at Carnival. No Carnival.
but we still had
Police,
jump up.
watch now. Police had to go and stand up in a gathering and just watch them have their fun. innit?
Exactly.
Guav was mass.
So what difference did it make?
mass. None.
And I feel
None.
like, Brad, that goes out even to in Canada. Because if you look at Canada, like all they have more anti this groups than
No, but Canadians are more people that they like to follow rules though.
oh yeah,
They
They're like
used
they're
to,
real
yeah.
orderly and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you wouldn't really see that kind of
I mean,
defiance.
most of the
Yeah,
cartoons,
not that level of
most of the
defiance.
Adult Swim cartoons make fun of Canada
For being
that.
so, yeah, being so, being so
Yeah,
pleasant.
most of
and-
the Adult Swim,
yeah.
they make fun of Canada. You know, Canada is a
Like okay, you'll see one or two people that are anti-maskers and thing, trying to go in places that demand that you wear a mask and making noise. Like if if a business
that
have a
makes no
thing saying
sense,
that you must wear a mask, who
to
is
get
you
service.
to want to come in them people
You
place
understand?
and not wear a mask and demand that they let you in while you're not wearing a mask? Who are you?
Ridiculous.
bro. This
Like,
week,
I don't
had to
understand.
say that 3 times. Like I was talking about something. I was like, but that is the people business if they want to do that.
Exactly.
That's their life. Like you're
Exactly.
too fast. So making it your problem. I said that like 3 times this week, bro.
Yep.
And I feel like there's the same thing because the people want you to wear masks in their establishment is their place. Like
Exactly.
who is you to come and tell
I
the
did-
people they
You know,
that
you
ain't
know
wearing
what?
masks?
You know what? Even in the supermarket too, you had to be telling people, yo, pull your mask up over your nose. You're a big person.
Mhm.
Even security purposes, because you have the mask on, some people would have their shades, they might have a cap on. So we would say, okay, for 1 second, just so that for security
Security
purposes,
could see you.
saying pull your mask up, whatever the case is, and then go on your way.
I think
And you have to do that
Watch
6
that.
feet away
Big-
from
yo.
the person.
Yo, big people that supposed to have some
Sense.
kind of sense, right?
I experienced that one time in West
What?
Virginia.
Yo, too many times
I was in
we
one time.
outside having to halt the entire line because this one person feel they're more important than everybody else. and they're not taking their cap off, and they're not putting the freak all there and all your security protocol.
I was there one time
Like,
in Western
what?
Union, Bruce Street, a man came in. Hear how stupid he sounded. There. He was like, why I have to drop my mask? Why I have to drop my mask? I just come into the bank, they make me drop my mask. Yo, I was doing
So you was in the bank to see him?
internet issues, right? So
Yeah,
I was working on some cables. I had to stop what I'm doing and watch the man.
Watch
Like
him,
I
like-
really look at the man and like I watch the man. And yo, it's a big man who looked like he traveled before. He looked like he's supposed to be educated because he was well dressed and everything. Proper. That's it.
It's
Like,
them, yo.
and
It's
I'm watching
them
the
that
man
has
like,
give the most trouble in it.
I can't believe you said something so dumb. Like, you know, it's a protocol in all
It's
places.
not- it's
that
not like
have
they
monetary
spring it on him.
transactions.
Mm.
Like, what
Right,
do
true.
you think?
Right,
Like,
true.
you come into a business place. There ain't no money there. You don't think they want to secure this?
Right? Why don't come in and the excuses, oh, they feel out to take all the thing? No, it's not a matter of you.
That's the thing, is
want-
ego. People
What the
think that if they have a certain status and thing, like the ego just choke them, like they feel like they shouldn't do things that
It
regular
shouldn't
people.
apply to them.
Yeah, it shouldn't apply to them.
Ridiculous. Bro.
Son, I don't understand.
Yeah, more sense than that, Dread. It's not a hard to understand.
But bro,
And a lot of these people have businesses. They have
Mhm.
businesses.
yeah,
Them-
most of
It's
them.
them that give them most
Most of
trouble,
them.
like trying to jump line and thing. And I'm like,
Most of
yo,
them.
there's an elderly line.
Exactly.
If your mother or your father was in the line, would you appreciate somebody taking their spot and having them outside in the sun?
Now people just become very selfish.
Ridiculousness.
And that's the
Bad
thing,
one.
these people, right? These people, they have children and they train their children in the same way. So that kind
Same,
of
exactly.
attitude continuing
Elitist.
on and on.
Some
'Cause listen, right?
elitist mindset.
When I was growing up, right, and I used to go by my father's workplace in Mount Hartman in Cape Town Wireless there. You know, there's a security booth out there, right?
Yeah.
Even though my father knows, like the security knows my father and whatnot, my father, when he coming in, he'll
Yeah.
still slow down and make sure the security see him and go inside. He walk in
See him,
there
yeah.
and management, everything. The security
Yeah.
knows him, but he still slow down and say hello. So even though when I get bigger, even though I know that when I driving through, when I started driving when I driving through, I do the same
You
thing
pick up
and
that
make sure the
exact
security see me
same habit,
and I roll
exactly.
through. Even though the security might say, "Oh, brother, no, it's you, man. Go on, go on."
Go on, yeah. Let
But it's
them
still-
make that choice.
My father showed me a certain way to do it, and I'm going to keep that. But
And
on the
I'm
flip
glad-
side now, when your parents doing bad things and they're showing you that
You're
they're going in
picking the
public
same
and
thing up.
they don't want to accept
Comply
guidelines and
whatnot,
things.
yeah.
Facts.
The same thing the children
Same
gonna do.
thing.
I'm really
What I
glad you said that, Brad, because I have two things to talk about. Like today, just today, Miss Thomas, well, Romana.
But you
She
call him name
manages-
by?
Yeah, because the question she asked me
Okay.
is what Brad just spoke about. She asked me, like she was talking about why is there a breakdown when it comes to people having respect for themselves and just having respect for authority and so on.
Mhm.
You know, and I was saying, and she asked me that same thing, and I was like, you see the answer I just gave, with your dad being the one
Yeah, you're
to
passing
make
it
sure
down.
that you, like, you know, it doing what you're supposed to do.
You lead them by
And same thing
example.
I told her. I was like,
Exactly.
Miss Thomas,
Exactly.
the reason why we have youths these days behaving the way they are is because there was a breakdown before we were where we at right now. The parents of some of the parents before never taught the youth how to behave. They never gave them proper yes, schools would have done part of it.
It's not a school
But
job.
could only
you
do
still
so much.
have-
It's not a school job. That's the
And that
problem.
is what happened with
That's the
most of the
problem.
parents. They believe that the schools
School
have to
has
teach their
teach-
children.
no.
The church have to
Exactly.
teach their children. The people that they come in contact, the community have to teach their children. But no,
You think?
It's a parent's job to train your
no,
child.
that is a parent's
Yo, watch
job.
that. Watch that. You think I could leave home and go somewhere and feel I could get on and it's right?
None of that.
You
No,
check
no,
it out.
that-
What-
Embarrassing your
but
parents.
if my
My
mother find
parents will
out,
come to you.
yeah,
Even
my
Embarrassing.
think
parents
about
find
it.
My ass warm still.
Facts, I mean.
Dan, Josh,
Never once.
Josh, you could tell how much times I get licks in public, righty. Where I get in trouble, I get a licks righty.
Facts.
I remember my mother boxed me in church for calling that girl a hoe. What's a hoe or telling the girl some stupidness I tell the girl.
So
My
it was-
mother boxed me one
So
time.
it was outlandish love then. That's what I said.
Well, church, like Brad could tell you, but you see, where our church is, we have a mixture of people. We have the people who
I
know
know.
better, we have the people who don't know, and then we have the people who in between.
Yeah.
And because we were surrounded by
So
many
many
different backgrounds, it's like we always
You're always on
had
the fence
some
at some
yeah.
point. Yeah.
So you had
yeah.
like girls who like really was like in the streets.
Annoying.
And like we talking about when we growing up, Brad, we knew
Yeah.
girls that was like
In the
sexually active
streets.
from real young. And like,
Dan,
you know, so it's like
when we grow up, dog, you see, when people talk about mothers and things sending their daughters down the road by the man for groceries and things, or for money to buy groceries and things. That's the kind of things that was going around in our communities up there. That's the kind
So
of
it's like, so me saying that is what the girl was actually, she was.
But
I can't tell the girl that
No.
because
Who's you
I
to tell the girl
all
that?
the- me saying them
Who's
things.
you to tell a girl that?
Oh boy, the girl going to tell my mother, wow.
girl,
Brad,
light
remember
up.
the time Brad always giving that story. He had to wipe the ass on the tiles.
Boy, I tell you,
wow.
I can't remember,
but
let me tell a story. Like, so one day we were younger, we had this little singing group. We were children, right? And we had practice home. And I give my mother some kind of back chat or something I feel. Something I did stupid. And she warmed my ass there. But she take me in the room, right? And she beat me. But the licks was so hard, boy. I had to get up. And I run outside in the corridor. I put my ass on the cold time to cool it. Yo, my friends laugh. They laugh. I couldn't do it in the room because the room had carpet.
Yeah.
But what real
I
shit
had to go
was
for the
that?
tiles.
Like, okay, you would never notice until you get to the point where you realize, yo, this actually did make me into a better person.
Of
But
course.
you know what?
The statements people were saying when we were younger wasn't a lie. They were actually telling the truth.
But you know what's crazy, right? So there's a lot of people on Facebook that have as friends that they're against disciplining your child with licks.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a line between discipline, corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment.
There's a difference between
Discipline and
corporal
abuse.
punishment and abuse.
Abuse.
A lot of people have been abused and are still being abused.
Mhm.
But the definition that the US has given for abuse is once you hit
Nonsense.
them. Once you hit them.
Once you hit them, yeah.
Once you hit them, it's
Nonsense.
considered
Brad
abuse.
said.
And they constantly talking like actual discipline and this makes you this kind of person and causes trauma and this and that. And I choose
That's why
not
they
to
shit
I
down.
choose not to respond to them because
Okay.
it will be a long-winded conversation. Hold on.
Hold on.
I had
And-
to challenge
finish your
you on
point.
that one.
And one
challenge you on that one.
one point that will always stick with me is you refuse to discipline the child as when they're children, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Under the age of
What
12.
happens when you become an adult and you're doing the same shippiness?
Who is there to discipline?
Who and what measure of discipline they
What
using?
can you use? Yeah.
Police doesn't beat
Then they
people.
want to turn. Then they want to turn to the government.
Watch now,
and
So
police.
now as an adult, and they could do what they want. They do what they want. Police is the one that had to beat them and into submission and stuff.
Okay.
And then when the
Why?
police kill them, they vex.
They vex.
Okay, so Brad, we have a friend. We both of us have this friend. When we were younger, you used to always get licks. No, most of the times, what would happen is they would judge of children who would have been brought up by parents or grandparents who we don't want grandparents, no, who were brought up by parents who would have beat them for anything.
Anything, yeah.
And with anything.
Yeah, he passing down now.
No. What do you think these grandparents would know? to correct a child.
All they know is blows.
Not what their parents would have taught them.
All they know is blows.
So, Brad, remember we had this friend whose grandmother cleave on like literally.
Only licks, you know.
Only licks.
For
The
everything.
man come upstairs too late in church.
Licks.
Licks. In
Yeah.
the middle of church.
What?
Box, rap, kick. Anything she could do at that
Now
point in time, she was doing.
That abuse.
And that is abuse.
That's abuse.
But you see, that is what, so it comes back to the same thing what you're saying, no.
Where is that?
No.
Where is
the
that person
line.
now, Josh?
Exactly. So you see my point, Brad?
Answer the question. Where is the person?
Well,
Where did they?
the biggest hotel in Grenada,
On top of the hill.
on top of the hill.
Nicest view though.
Best view.
Best
Nicest
view.
view.
He
I
may be
can't-
That he
watching
can
the-
use.
You may be watching the podcast. Make up yourself.
but
But-
look, and the thing is that they casting a blanket on any kind of discipline as abuse, and
I feel like
others
they need
take
to
it.
know the
Others
limits.
be like, so you basically telling me my mother don't know how to raise a child. I've never been in trouble with the law. I never thief. I never end up in any kind of issue. I'm very respectable. There is no report anybody could say, yo, he's a rude fella and he this and he that.
Exactly.
Like there's nothing. I get my ass warm as a child. Believe me. Fresh out of the I stole once.
I see it a couple times too.
That's all of
Watch
us.
I was
Watch
present for it a couple times too.
I stole once in my life. Once.
You regret it though.
Wait,
Because she I was
outside.
I was what? Maybe 7 or 8.
Mm.
So I take we went grocery shopping. We at the aisle, they just at the cashier, they had candies and shit.
I hope it's not real value.
No, real value didn't exist.
There wasn't
There
existing.
wasn't. I take a candy and I put it in my pocket. I go home, I eat it, and I hide it behind the bed. But you see, I knew that was wrong.
I
knew it was
that's
wrong.
why I hid
Because
it.
you hide it.
That's why I hide it. It's
Yeah, I
candy.
hid it.
It's candy, sugar, and start to ting it. She see it while I go and bed, come out, ask me about it. I lie.
So he do 2 things, sir.
So that
He
too wrong
lied.
I do they.
And he hid the candy that he
And
stole.
a thief.
He stole, yeah.
A thief and a lie. She asks me again. I lie again. She take it out.
Damn.
I say, oh, my friend from school give me that.
Wow.
I lie
What's
again.
The man had his friends in there. Wow.
What is the friend name? What is the friend name? Watch now. I just showered. I in my little towel, skin soft and moist. Get my ass warm. Yo, I run around that kitchen table. She still. I never, ever. I even picking up something in my house, in my parents' house, without saying, "Hey, I'm taking this."
that. Yeah.
So
Oui.
it's not correct in Bratton.
Oh, I never, not one.
Proper
Man.
communication.
Man. I get licks for a leaf already.
Nah, Alex was saying that is a game computer.
Yeah, well, I'll tell that one next time. But the thing is, when I get to that one, I'll tell you why I still respect my father for what happened after that. But let me tell you about this one with the leaf, right? So I did by my boys, and in my neighborhood, it's not really the best influences, right? So they had some weed trees.
They don't know you're from the hood.
Yeah, they know. But everybody think Brad is a rich boy.
Where you from the hood?
I surely think that about all 3 of us.
Nah, they know I'm gonna get to you. Dog.
But so I went down by them and they had some weed plants and thing there. But I young
Some
and thing,
weed
but they know
plants.
weed,
Oh, the man
people
from-
talking
the man
about
from the
so weed
ghetto.
cool.
From
This was
Yeah.
before everybody smoking and thing. This
smoking,
was when smoking was still
Illegal.
taboo, right? So I take the weed leaf and thing and say, oh, that's cool because you always seen the shape of the weed leaf all over the place. So I put I go home with the weed leaf and thing. I put it in the back of my notebook from school and I bring it in school and I show him my friends and thing. Well, a couple months passed, a couple weeks passed, I had a weed leaf day because it preserved between the pages. And my father was going through my homework and thing. And he just happened to flip and see the back. And he see
Science project.
no, I tell him I just picked the leaf because I know I like how the shape of the leaf is and thing.
Oh wow, man.
But that is true, but I was using it for clout.
Yeah.
Right? But I get licked for that. My father say, don't bring drugs into the
In the
school,
house.
into my
So
house. But I
Oh,
said, people
so-
doesn't even smoke their leaf.
But wait, so you actually thought, yeah,
Oh, that Gary.
can I get away with that excuse?
Yeah.
I was a leave this excuse.
I get licks. I get
the way
licks
you
for
roll.
bringing, I think I'm some big drug dealer. Eh? I get licks for bringing drugs
I
into
show,
my house.
I show you,
It's just a
never
weekly.
made that mistake again, though.
Never.
Have you
Never.
ever touched a leaf after?
Never.
Nah.
I'm sure you
I never
dislike
touched a
leaf
plant.
now.
But yeah, about the game computer thing, when I was like 7, that time,
I can't get that story
when
now.
I was like, I was
Yeah,
younger, like
like
5, so them
Yo, they had
time
to do the live
computers not
episode.
really
They had to do the live episode. Yo, they had to do the live episode to hear that story.
to hear the story.
That story
Yeah,
is
that's
hilarious.
story. No,
Yeah,
but I
that story
can't
is
leave. I
hilarious.
can't leave it hanging there like that because I'm making my father look bad, dog. I had to tell it.
Nah, leave it hanging. Leave it.
We have
we having a live. Is it next week? Next recording.
The next one would be
Yeah, next week.
what, the 26th?
So we having a live. For those of you listening,
If you want to
like-
be a part of it, have a conversation with us, ask us anything, anything you want to tell us, like, oh, let's wish up it, boy. Come
Yeah,
through,
come
call,
through.
and
We'll
and-
send you all the Zoom link so you can join up, and we'll have a one-on-one, one person in the
just
chat at a
DM
time.
the page or DM
Yeah.
any one of us, and you can be part of the Can't Say This Twice
episode 11.
podcast, episode 11. Would that be the end of the season, guys?
Now we'll
Then we
probably
got
go
one
to
more
like
after.
20 episodes. We'll probably
20?
go 20 episodes and then
Oh, I
continue.
think giving them a lot,
That's
man. All right.
There's a short season by 10 episodes. I know how Idas feel when I listening to something. I enjoy
Yeah.
it. And then he just like,
yeah,
oh, what's on your scene, dog?
yeah.
Yeah,
But
sure.
we'll end it nice, though.
Yeah, we did it off nice. So yeah, so next episode I'll give you all that story about the game computer.
Yeah. Nah, it's a funny. It's like
Yeah, it's real funny.
I heard the story. Like,
It's
so
funny
much
and-
times, but like every time it's like, wait, that's what happened. But look how it ended, though. And
Yeah.
like, it actually would make you realize that men is not all muscle, and
Mhm.
yes, we can be emotional sometimes because
Yeah.
the ending of the story is like it's like a Hallmark movie.
I feel I had to write a script and write a movie for that.
movie
for
about
that scene.
football.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not all hype. I'm not just hyping you all up for the next episode. I'm telling you, it's a
Nice,
great
good.
story. You'll probably learn something from it. So yeah, come listen to it on the next episode.
Definitely.
All right, so just to recap on the question, we were basically just covering our experiences growing up in Grenada. And
Bit of a-
obviously that is probably maybe a variation of what people in the US and well, if they're not of Caribbean descent, because anywhere you go,
In other Western countries.
if
per
anywhere
se.
you go, if you're from the Caribbean, your parents will cut your ass. Real
Yep.
talk.
Yeah.
Can't escape.
Yeah.
So,
And you would see some differences in the way of life in those countries
yeah, absolutely.
compared to the
absolutely.
Caribbean. So to brother Jesse out there who asked the question, yes, Brad saw differences because
Yeah,
one of the
even
biggest
when we were
was
younger,
yeah, you would,
for us, America was
the place you want to
the
go.
promised land.
Yep.
You want to be in America.
Did you know how
Yeah.
you had
The kind of things we used to see children getting away with on TV in America.
Even to
But not
school,
That's a dream.
secondary school, you're
when
going
you
to
came
school
back
in like
from
regular
vacation and
clothes.
you go to school and you can tell the story. Boy, I went to Coney Island.
Yeah.
I get this. Yo, people
Yeah.
used to watch it in class and thing.
Like,
And-
yo,
oh.
you
Yo,
went
you
to
was famous for going
Wow.
away.
Yeah, bro,
They was famous for going on a plane.
And then when you actually go over there as an adult and you had to pay for all your stuff yourself, or if you had to spend some extensive amount of time, you realize, yo, this ain't so nice.
It's not
Yeah.
what it
This ain't so and people aren't friendly, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
I spent like a month in New York, well, in and out. And
And even here in our apartment complex, and I could tell you
you're seeing
I could count on one
one
hand.
like,
how much of my neighbors I've seen before on this floor.
eh?
Yep.
because everybody has their life to live, as
They-
they say.
Exactly.
I realize that's what happens. People tend to like
You know, like in-
self-isolate, like stay away
Yeah.
from each other. There's no community like
Yeah.
we have it here.
I think
Nope.
I feel like this is becoming. This is about to begin to start another episode. But
We could talk about.
I
that
think
later.
that is why you have the suicidal rates so high in those places, because
In other
people
countries,
don't
yeah.
You feel alone.
have they
You're
don't
dealing
have
with
that
you don't have
that
support and
company
whatnot. Yeah.
to talk to. They don't have that friend, that neighbor. They could just say, "Yo, what you doing, man? I come and check you, but I need to tell you
Yeah,
about that girl."
Just sit down and have a chat.
You're right.
They have a
So,
block.
like,
They
Yeah.
didn't have a blog they could go and sit down on and
they
just
don't have a,
old talk.
block. They don't have that block, because even on their workplaces,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this clip on, but I have that on my workplace, where I have a couple brethren on work who would
Yeah,
come
man.
and check my office
Yeah.
and be like, "Yo, what going on?"
Have
And we
a
just
little-
talk.
A little small
Mm.
talk.
We
Yeah.
just talk.
about relationships.
And I don't
different
think
things.
like Brad, you in school working kind of, I don't know, have you ever experienced that kind of? The COVID would have messed.
Now
things up.
we have what we call coffee breaks, but it's
does it feel
online.
real? But does it feel
So
real?
we have
though?
a Google Meet where like
Yeah.
one of my coworkers or some will say we just have a coffee chat,
Yeah.
right? And we just talk and thing. We have
But
that,
does it
but
feel real though?
no.
Because it
But
would
it's the
not be
best we
real
could do now,
because
so I had to take it.
Yeah.
yeah, but even if you wouldn't have found yourself in a group with that amount of people, because in each
No.
office, okay, I'm not saying that you have enemies in the office, but if the office has 10 persons, out of that 10 persons, 3 persons would be your close friends.
Mm.
And those 3 persons would
Well,
be
you would get
persons you would
get
you would
along with them
confine
and
with.
stuff, yeah.
even if you decide
Like even
to,
if it's work stuff.
yeah, even if it's work stuff, but it's
Yeah.
that 3 persons that you know, I could maybe talk to them because the boss gave me pressure and
I
let me
like
hear how
what
they
going
feeling,
on.
you know?
Mm.
But I feel like if you're in a big group like that, you still cannot.
It's harder. It's harder. No?
Yeah,
It's
it
harder to
still
open
can.
up to so many people.
So I still
at
feel like
once.
it's easier to do that in the Caribbean
Yeah.
than where Brad
Yeah,
is.
that's
I
true.
guess too, it's part of our culture too now, because even if it's a bigger group, I'd probably section off with this person because he know my cousin,
Yeah,
she know my
yeah.
mother and them. Something.
Yeah.
There's some connection somewhere.
And another thing too, I am not judging, but in the Caribbean, people, although we fake sometimes, plain talk bad manners. In the Caribbean, we less fake than people in the States, because you have people in the States who come in and give you a whole different persona, a whole
Boy,
different persona.
boy.
I'm the guy who like to go to the gym, and when the man go home, the man is a snob and the man eating and chips falling on his bed. but in the Caribbean we don't have that, you know.
Yeah, not as much.
We have hypocrite people.
Yeah.
We have people who will talk behind your back. But we do have people who will come and pretend.
A
You will
whole
know the people that are talking
lifestyle.
behind your back straight up. But you do have people who will come and give you a whole different
Like
lifestyle,
totally
whole
different.
person.
We might
We
embellish,
don't have that in the Caribbean, you know.
but we go lie straight up like yeah.
So we still have it easy in the Caribbean in
So
terms of
so
that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
we're more connected, you see.
I mean, because,
Yeah, man. Anyway, thanks, listeners.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got a lot
You
today.
got,
Episode
y'all got a
10.
good bit today.
Episode
Episode
10.
10.
Thanks for riding with us. This
Yeah.
has been your wifey's favorite podcast. Can't say this twice.
This Brad will say it out.
With CJ,
Whatever you said.
Josh, and
Brad, I
Brad.
gotta say it. I gotta say it.
I don't know.
Nah, I ain't
about
saying
that,
it, man.
boy.
I ain't saying
If
it.
you ain't say it, I'm coming off the podcast.
You know what I will say though? Don't forget to like,
What?
share, and subscribe. Find the subscribers kind of
Subscribe?
going,
The man
the
kicked
subscribers
my
going
line.
up slow on YouTube.
Oh,
And follow the
I don't know
podcast
about
on
that,
Spotify
boy.
and
I don't
Apple
know about
Podcasts.
that. Since you're taking my line, I'm taking yours. I don't know
I
about
don't know about
that,
that,
boy.
My voice is
Alright.
deep, so I know,
Peace.
Later.